These dances, these masks, these strange rituals have meaning. They describe precisely the relationship between a remote African tribe and the heavens. This tribe believes all life comes from a distant dark star, invisible to the naked eye. Recently, modern science was able to find this star and confirm its existence. Now we must ask, how did a primitive people, lacking instruments of any kind, discover a dark star hidden deep in space? In Central Africa, among fortress-like cliffs on the southern edge of the Sahara Desert, live a people called the Dogon. 1,000 years ago, fleeing from warring tribes, the Dogon found refuge here. The Dogon have endured and preserved mysterious ancient knowledge. Knowledge of an invisible star and its movements through the heavens. The hum of the bull roar is believed to be the voice of the sacred star. It calls initiates to a ceremony high in the cliffs. Dating back to a time when the Western world was locked in the Dark Ages, this ritual has taken place year after year. During the ceremony, the full spectrum of Dogon knowledge is revealed and passes from generation to generation. A circle within a circle depicts Saturn and its rings, which can only be seen with a telescope. A large circle and 4 satellites, called Na, dates from an early observation of the dark star. It is believed by scientists to be more than 300 years old. Masks for future rituals will be modeled on this example.
So what conclusion does one come to from the Dogon knowledge of the star Sirius? I feel there are one of 3 possibilities. A, that they have supernatural knowledge or extrasensory perception. B, perhaps they've been visited by creatures from outer space. Or C, that the whole thing is coincidence. And I must say, as a professional astronomer, I strongly side with item C, that it's coincidence.
How they managed to calculate this, we don't know. It is a mystery that we have been unable to solve and up to now, and that the Dogon are not going to tell us.
The average lifespan among the Dogon is 38 years. The Sigi ritual is held every 60 years. Yet, every Dogon youth learns the complicated movements of the dance, hoping he might someday participate in the ceremony. Each hopes that he will be the one to wear the grand mask. The grand mask, the symbol of the sacred star, turning in endless orbit around the giant Sirius. Today, the modern world surrounds the Dogon. Their children will attend schools. Roads will connect them to major cities. Western goods and technology will soon be commonplace. As they gain new knowledge, will they lose this ancient wisdom? Can they travel into the future, guided by tradition and social harmony? Will they retain the guiding wisdom of the dark star?
Kundogumo, a little village right under the cliffs of the Bandiagara Scarp in eastern Mali, home to the Dogon people for hundreds of years. As they do every morning, Geneva and the other women set out the souvenirs in the hope that tourists will find their way here and spend a little money in the village. But there have been few tourists in recent years. Although this region is peaceful, cases of kidnapping in the north have discouraged tourism. Bogalu is also getting ready for the day's tasks, fetching water, working in the fields, collecting wood, pounding millet, and preparing food, as all women here have done for generations. Isaka, her husband, is a farmer and tourist guide, but he hasn't much to do till harvest time. As every morning, one of the village elders takes the daily ration of millet from his store and distributes it to the women of his family. For some 700 years, this escarpment, which extends for 170 kilometers, has been the home of the Dogon, up on the plateau, in the rock caves, and down below where there's easier access to water and their fields. In the past, they used to seek shelter within the complex rock formations, probably hiding from slave hunters from the north of the Sahel zone. They built their huts and storehouses like swallows' nests in the caves hollowed out by wind and rain. Most of the cave dwellings have been abandoned. Only a few families remain. Beneath the massive rocks, life goes on as it always did. Among the Dogon, everything revolves around millet. It's not only their staple food, it's used in sacrifices and the brewing of the ritual beer. Dogon women are responsible for the fields, the children, the home, the animals, for water, firewood, food and clothing, and for market trading. The division of labor here is strictly patriarchal. Even if the men have no work, the women are always kept busy. No man would ever do women's work. Every day the women prepare to, a porridge made of millet, the staple crop of the Dogon. The storehouses, the pointed huts, the women pounding millet. It could be a scene from a children's book about Africa. Picturesque, colourful, idyllic. There's no electricity here, no lights, no roads, no creature comforts. A harmonious river landscape where crime is virtually unknown and the elders are still respected. Under the roof of the Toguna, the palaver house, the elders still regulate all the affairs of the village. Younger people prefer to telephone. But as the Dogon say, their life, though poor in material goods, is rich in harmony. Yet this harmony is often only in the eye of the beholder, of foreigners in search of the genuine, authentic Africa. Real life in the land of the Dogon is hard and full of privation. Our main work is farming. Because of the drought, we seldom have a good harvest. We can compensate for this through tourism. We often act as porters or guides, and we sell local village products. The income from this is for our families. We can buy grain when the crops fail, or medicines if someone's ill. After field work in the morning, there's nothing to do. We feel as a loose end. But even in this archaic world, there's a yearning for modern life. Go before the next millet harvest. Isaka's suggestions don't meet with unanimous approval from the village elders. Bandiagara, the regional capital of the land of the Dogon, only 30 kilometers away from the escarpment, is another world, modern and pulsing with life. Here there's everything a young Dogon could wish for. People get dressed up here on holidays. And here you can feel connected to the rest of the world. Appearances count for more, and life goes at a faster pace. Pierre, too, lives in Bandiagara and drives to work at the cultural mission every morning. Since 1989, the land of the Dogon has been a UNESCO World Cultural Heritage Site, and the cultural mission is concerned with its preservation. Today's work focuses on the museums, which the mission has set up in the land of the Dogon with the aid of the German Agency for International Cooperation. Angelika Frey-Oldenburg advises the mission on preserving the Dogon cultural heritage. The museums are intended to show the indigenous population how special the culture is that they take for granted, and of course to attract tourists and thus boost the economy. The Amitié Dogon camp in Koundou, beneath the escarpment, one of the biggest tourist hotels in the land of the Dogon. Isaka and Seydou are waiting for customers, tourists they can show round their homeland. Keneko, the owner, keeps the camp in order, even though there are no guests at present. The travel warnings issued by many countries are adversely affecting a lot of people here, guides, craftsmen, traders, all those who earn a little from tourism. And no one really understands why the foreigners are staying away. They tell us it has to do with Al-Qaeda, but we don't know what that's about. We've never had any problems in Dogon land. People here are very worried because we live from the tourists, and now we can't sell the things we make. Angelika and Pierre are out on mission business. They're driving along the escarpment to Nombori. The only roads here are sand tracks, and now, in the rainy season, they're often well nigh impassable. It's market day in Nombori, as it is every 5 days, the length of a week in the land of the Dogon. Nombori is Pierre's home village, so ritual greetings are protracted. He hasn't been back for a long time, and there have been a lot of changes. There's some talk of his standing for the position of mayor. An old man who's offering various objects. He wants to be given a loan in exchange. The museum functions as a cultural bank. People bring in an object and are lent money. If they're unable to pay it back, the object remains in the museum, so everyone benefits. This person needs money. If there were no system providing credit for the object, they'd be forced to sell it. This is the way we've found for combating the illegal trade in our cultural property and protecting our culture. This idea, supported by the German Agency for International Cooperation and the Cultural Mission, has proved successful in many cases. The museum's director selects the most interesting objects for his collection, and the credit sum is agreed. The objects are catalogued, and the deal is done. The museum is once again richer by a few exhibits. In Isaka's village, further up in the cliffs, the elders have decided to solve the problem in their own way. A chicken is to be sacrificed to the ancestors, so that they can counter the power of Al-Qaeda and ensure that tourists come to the village again soon. The elder asks for the ancestors' blessings. Ancestors, we offer you our morning greetings. Grant us prosperity. There are problems in this world. Protect us against all evil. Protect us against wicked winds and thorns. For the time being, the chief fetish is being kept in the village headman's house. He tells Pierre that the statue is not particularly good, not very finely worked. The idea is to protect it from thieves. Its spiritual power is not dependent on how beautiful or ugly it may be. This world cultural heritage is in danger of falling apart. Many of the buildings in Dogon land are like the Gina of Yenduma, but the cultural mission does not have sufficient funds to restore them all. The storehouses, the pointed huts, the clan centres, they're all built of clay, just as they were by the ancestors of the Dogon. Built in soft, rounded shapes like bodies snuggling up to the rocks, as if formed by the gentle hands of a great divine potter. But this is a transient form of architecture. Nothing here is built for eternity. In the dry season, the clay splits. In the rainy season, the walls absorb a lot of water. They need repairing again and again, year after year, from one generation to the next. In the evening, Pierre and the headman's son discuss how the Guinea can be saved. The whole family are still living in the clan house. It's disintegrating, but he can't restore it on his own. He'll have to find builders who still master the old techniques. He'll have to buy wood. The clay bricks will have to be made. The builders will need food, and the ritual beer has to be provided. And it all costs money. He should apply to the cultural mission so that they can apply for funds from UNESCO or other organizations. It's a big task, the restoration, the necessary sacrifices for the fetishes, the brewing of ritual beer. It's all too much for him. But as the son of the head man, it's his responsibility. His father is now too old.